Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well through the scriptures. Peace to the 144,000 and the rest of the hopeful elect. I want to do a commentary on this video right here from this page, Arrows of Indignation 144. Always have good, short, edifying clips, but you see the title, Hey Eve, the serpent Esau feed you lies. Now reality is starting to sink in. Isaiah 32:10 on screen.
I don't have anyone. Everyone always talks about how being there for yourself and all you need is yourself is enough. And the only people you can rely on is yourself to get through life. And to an extent that is true, but I am completely alone. Let me tell you, as someone who has no family to help me, I have no safety net. If I were to get very ill or extremely injured or anything like that, I have no one.
I did a video maybe a few weeks ago entitled So-Called Black Women Are Dying Kinless. See, normally the family safety net would somehow kick in as you aged, as you got older, and as you couldn't work to support yourself. You know, it happened with my great-grandmother. You know, my great-grandmother worked, retired, her husband died, family died, and then my aunt, her granddaughter, stepped in to take care of her, and that's becoming a thing of the past. They read that article, or they did the study, and they titled it So-Called Black Women Are Dying Kinless. They don't have that social safety net of when you get up in age and having access to the help that you normally would have from family. The scripture says in Matthew the 10th chapter that the love of many would wax cold. All right, Matthew 24:12. And because iniquity shall abound, the world is getting more sinful. The love of many shall wax cold. So the whole family dynamic of love and duty and honor and obligation of having to take care of the elderly or even taking care of the young properly, that's being greatly diminished. So I'm gonna go back to this for a second.
Completely alone. If I need help paying a bill, if I get behind, there is no one. Life is getting increasingly difficult, and human beings need community. Human beings need support. Human beings need a safety net.
That's true. The Most High created us like that. You got some animals that's solitary, not lions, but tigers, bears, different animals. They come together, the man and the woman, to produce offspring, and then that'll be it, because that's the nature of those animals. But that's not the nature of human beings. All right, we were made to be together, men and women. Maybe a man having more than one woman if he wish. But all of these things has been broken down. All right, we've been led to believe contrary to what's actually positive for our nature as so-called humans. But let me grab 2nd Ezra 16. 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 33. It says, the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. So the young women are going to mourn because there's not going to be enough men. There's already not enough men now. All right. Women greatly outnumber men, especially in the so-called black community. All right. Out of in the so-called black community, how many of those men are actually eligible husbands? When you factor in those that are incarcerated and those that are uh, sexual deviants or whatever, or those that don't have the right mindset when it comes to family and raising children, they got the Pookie and Ray Ray spirit. All right, it says the women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. So you're out there alone. You're out there without any help. All right. And as Esau's putting the squeeze on, he's making it tighter and tighter. All right. Then you're gonna see how alone you really are. Because with things like food stamps, right? TANF, WIC, women, infant, children, HUD, Section 8, the various different government programs to so-called help the minority communities, but in actuality, they help the women to keep that divide between the men and women. Well, this is the byproduct of that. The byproduct is increasing that divide, making us further apart, having you rely on the system as your man instead of your husband as your man. All right, but now that system is about to be broken. Now that system is about to be taken away from you. All right, in the scripture. Are you gonna make me spell it right? This is Isaiah 28:18. It says, "And your covenant with death shall be disannulled." Now, who is death? Esau, Edom. The scripture says he is as death. All right. Esau, Edom, the man in power, the man in rulership right now, he is death incarnate, death in the flesh. All right. And everybody who makes agreements with him, those agreements are going to be canceled. Oftentimes, the majority of the times, those agreements get canceled because he break them first. All right. And your agreement with hell shall not stand. So you got a lot of these sellouts. They make pacts with Esau, Edom, the so-called WHITE man. All right. But ultimately, at the end, you're going to lose based off that agreement. Whether he break it first, he break the covenant first against you, which he often do, or the Most High break it. It says, when the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it. So when affliction come, all right, when trouble come, you're going to be caught up in the trouble. All right.
I have none of that. I have just myself. And every day is getting harder and harder to get through. Waking up in the morning is starting to feel like a curse rather than a blessing. Day in and day out, I've been saying, okay, I have myself, and I go to work. I pay my bills as best as I can.
She's not a unattractive, ugly woman. That appears to be her hair, teeth strong. She don't look like she got a lot of makeup on. You could tell by her eyes she tired, but she don't seem like you don't get the impression, multiple baby daddies. She don't even seem like she might even have a kid, and she feeling like that. So just imagine the women with children, multiple baby daddies, not so attractive. How much more of them? All right, American women over here in the West are on more antidepressant, anti-psychotic drugs than in the history of a nation being on drugs. But this is supposed to be the most liberated and free and open, See, but what happens is when you give a woman much liberty, she abuses herself. This is Sirach 26:10. If thy daughter be shameless, and the average women out here are shameless. It says, keep her in straightly. And through the media and through the things you're taught as a woman, you're taught to be shameless. Yeah, you meet a boy for the first time and you all in love with him. You might be 16, 17, 18, even younger nowadays. But in typical times past, you 16, 17, 18, a young man and a young woman like each other. And you got the older women telling that young woman, oh, don't take him too serious. That's just puppy love. You'll find plenty of dudes. It'll be more dudes. Wait till you go to college. And that's even more dudes. So there's a culture of women abusing themselves already instilled from when they're a child. You hear that growing up as a child, as a young woman, that you'll be with multiple dudes. And it's not supposed to be so. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty, too much freedom. Too much freedom, she abused herself. And then in the process, you empty, you unfulfilled. And it always happens like that. You always hear the story, see the girl in college, the girl in high school, right? Be the good girl, quote unquote, and then she go to college and be the biggest jump off. That story is typical, man. That story is typical. You get to talking, years go by, you get to talking to, dudes you grew up with. Hey, whatever happened to such and such? She used to be like this. But look, she wasn't kept in straitly. Then abused herself through overmuch liberty. Let me grab 1 Timothy 5:6. It says, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. I'm reading the NLT. But the widow who lives only for pleasure is spiritually dead even while she lives. Right? Because let me look up dead real quick. That's what women, whether they be widows or not, all right, just women in general, have been led to just seek pleasure. Basically to become hedonist. Let me see, it's dead. To die, to be dead, metaphorically to be spiritually dead. Right. So when you look up that word to live in pleasure, it means to live luxuriously, lead a voluptuous lifestyle. That's what the average woman wants. All right. Even these so-called spiritual women who liken themselves to being the truth, they think that somehow that they're gonna get their hopes and dreams fulfilled on this side. Now, the Most High can bless you with what He want to bless you with. Things are not impossible. All right. But if that's what you're looking to at the forefront, then you're dead while you're alive. You dead. The proverb, you dead from the neck up. All right. You don't have no spiritual insight into what's actually going on, because if you did, that wouldn't be in the forefront of what you wanted if you knew what was going on. If I had a discount on some luxurious furniture, I wouldn't move that luxurious furniture into a dilapidated house. I'll wait to get a more established house before I think about that luxurious furniture. All right, so it says To live in pleasure, voluptuous. I just looked up that word voluptuous just to, Let me see, voluptuous. Curvaceous and sexually attractive views of a woman relating to or characterized by luxury or sensual pleasure. There's plenty of scriptures that speak against the pursuit of sensual pleasure because you know what? It's a hedonistic. That's where the word heathen come from, or hedonism. Engaged in the pursuit of pleasure, sensually self-indulgent. And what happens is your body, when you do certain things, your body produces different chemicals, whether it be dopamine, serotonin, cortisol, depending on the situation. And you get feel-good chemicals, happy chemicals. But if you just overindulge in sensuality, those happy chemicals become more and more depleted because you're not working to get them. So it's basically, you become desensitized. You become straight up desensitized. So that's another way you dead while you live. You become desensitized. But anyway, back to the video.
I do everything for myself. I am completely self-sufficient, and it is so hard because if I just want to be hugged, if I just want someone to hug me, I don't have someone to hug me. A hug. I don't even have that. I don't even feel like a human being anymore because I don't have any connection. And it's like I could go out, and I know people are like, go out and meet people and do things and develop outside hobbies. And I've done that. Believe me.
But that don't work. That's why, after the so-called hoe phase is over with, when women done with their hoe phase, where do they go? They go to church. They get spiritual all of a sudden. They all part of these programs to fill the void of not having a man. Then they'll get a dog, which Kevin Samuels spoke about that often. Buy a dog and die alone. These women buy a dog and treats these dogs and treats these animals like royalty. She got the one woman, she feed her dog, man, I don't know what she was, Wagyu steak, and the dog, she putting sea moss lotion over the dog. I'm talking about, man, the dog is wonderful. The dog is gorgeous, well taken care of, but you tell them to take care of a man like that, and then it's they don't understand the concept. But they'll treat a dog or an animal much, much better than a human man.
I've done that. A lot of things where I live cost money to do, unfortunately, which I can't really be frivolous with right now. I'm in pure survival mode. I have to meet my basic needs before I can just go out and get to enjoy anything, which also sucks. Like, my basic needs have to take precedent. These are a constant struggle every single day. So the fact that they're a constant struggle means I can't possibly skip my basic needs and go straight to, I'm gonna go join a club and meet new people and spend money and hang out. Like, it feels like a catch-22, and I don't know what to do. I just know that I can't keep living life alone. I want family. I want love. I want safety. And I don't have any of that. I want family. I want love. I want safety. And I don't have any of that.
Right, so, and when you look at this article right here, hold on real quick, let me make sure my notification, something just pop up. All right, grab this article. All right, now this happened, I forget, maybe this happened in the last 2 days, because I could have swore I saw this the other day. But the article was from yesterday. Today is the 7th. It says migrants allegedly snatched phones from 62 women in New York City crime spree. It says a group of migrants were arrested in the Bronx overnight Monday for a citywide crime spree that included stealing women's phones off the street, police said. So with all these migrant workers or migrants coming up from Latin America, all right, it's about to be pandemonium. All right, and you got people, predators stalk they prey. Predators understand they prey. All right, and a whole bunch of single women, okay, in a American system that makes you become docile, in a system that's set up for you to, because you got some women, real feminine women, you wouldn't dare catch them walking outside by themselves. Let alone walking outside, going somewhere at night by themselves. But in America, you have women 3, 4 in the morning walking around tipsy, stumbling around, leaving the club. And then when something befalls the person, then it's this outroar, this outcry. Well, I mean, look, the world is a dangerous place. All right, and the society set up has made the average person, especially women in the so-called black community, forget that. But they don't find out abruptly. It says, a group of migrants were arrested in the Bronx overnight Monday for a citywide crime spree that included stealing women's phones off the street, police said. The New York Police Department executed a search warrant, blah, blah, blah. The 7 suspects are expected to be charged with multiple robberies and grand larcenies, and more individuals are being currently sought. The suspects are all believed to be from Venezuela, authorities said. Right, and these countries in Latin America, see, they know what time it is. They know what time it is. They didn't grow up living carelessly. They didn't grow up deliciously. A few years ago in Venezuela, they was buying food. They was buying spoiled food. The way you go to the farmer's market and buying tomatoes, well, they had the same thing except the food was spoiled. All right, so we talking about people that are used to hard times and that will capitalize and brutalize people that ain't paying attention. All right, like how you go to Chicago and you don't know about Chicago too much, or you go to New York, or you go to Vegas, or you go to Cali, go to these different places with your eyes wide open and you don't know what's going on and you get tricked. Well, the migrants with ill intent, they don't come up here and do that to American citizens. Look, it's happening. And they didn't say whether these women were what race they were. But you can infer that they was more than likely minorities, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. It says detectives believe the suspects were snatching the phones to access the Apple Pay feature and using credit cards linked to the phones to buy items in the U.S. or Central America. The phones were then sent to Colombia, where they were wiped clean, according to police. Look, not too long ago, they was assaulting police officers. All right, so it's about to be all hell about to break loose. All right? Let me grab it's Ciroc 36 and 25. Or Ecclesiasticus. It says, where no hedge is. Matter of fact, I started at 24. All right. It says, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. The wife is the possession. A help like unto himself, a carbon copy, a shadow. It says, and a pillar of rest. Right. You go out there and fight the world. You come home and you shouldn't have to fight at home. It says, verse 25, where no hedge is, hedge represents protection. A man is protection. All right. There, the possession is spoiled. All right. So all these women, and fair to say, most of these women were probably unmarried, because there's not too many married men that allow a woman to just be out at night by themselves, walking no less. All right. And most of the minority community, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, but primarily so-called Negroes, are unmarried. All right. And that rate, and the ones that are married, there's a high divorce rate. So the rate of people being single and not together is steadily increasing. All right. It says, right, where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. So no man, no protection, no covering. Now you spoiled. And Esau Edom is getting rid of the false hedge and protection he gave. And that was through like I stated earlier, the food stamps, the WIC, the TANF, the HUD, all right, all the directives aimed at women being over men. All of those things, child support. All right. A lot of those things are going to be removed. It says, and he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning. Yes, feminism and lesbianism and all the sexual toys women got access to, they don't need men no more. And now men have men are mourning because of it. That's why you see the response, the so-called red pill movement, MGTOW, men going their own way. That's a response to not having no woman. But at the same time, it's a positive response, because that it involves you to focus more on yourself and get yourself right. Women gonna eventually come anyway. That's just the nature of things. But let me see. I'll end it with this scripture right here, Isaiah 13 and 12. Isaiah 13 and 12, it says, I will make a man more precious than... Matter of fact, I'm starting at 11. It says, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. See, we're in the process of that happening right now. Oftentimes, the Most High works in processes. He works with gradualism. That's what Esau Edom got it from. He works, and then it comes to a point, and then it's like it becomes climatic. It's a climax of it, but it'll already be a starting point. See, that's why the scripture says in the book of Ezra, it says the beginning of sorrows. See, the Most High is in the process of punishing the wicked and punishing the world. All right, verse 12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold. Right, what type of man? A spiritual man. All right, a man of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, a righteous man of the Bible. All right, like to quote the elder Yashawamba, as this place, roughly quote him, because he didn't say it exactly like this, but basically, as this place decline, our value rise as men of the Lord. All right, because the investments in this place are going to fail. And as the investments in this place, in this world system, as we know it fail, then there's another condition to that. All right, that means that the righteousness is going to increase. It's like the like a balance scale. All right, as one decrease, the other increase. Now, wickedness has had its time. Wickedness, it had a run. It had a little three-peat, if you will. But now that's over with. All right, it's on a rapid decline. It says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold. Yeah, a righteous man. Even a man than the gold wedge of Ophir. Therefore, I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of Yahweh of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. Right, so we're approaching the day of the Most High's, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh's fierce anger. All right. The day of the Lord is dark and very dark. Who can abide in it? Well, the only ones that's going to be able to abide is the ones whom the Most High got his hand over, whom he covering. All right. And that's his righteous men, his hopeful elect. So with that, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson to the hopeful elect. All praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Kakodash.